That music that you heard is the music from the great, amazing video game that consumed everything about my existence for a while, called Mortal Kombat, if you're curious. That game consumed my mind so much, the arcade version, that when it was talked about that they were going to put out a console version, I had dreams about picking that game up at the store. I had this reoccurring dream of this video game store that was pretty obscure. And I loved going there because they had all kinds of more rare video games. And when the Sega CD came out, I remember going there. And they had a TV hooked up with the Sega CD. And Mortal Kombat was there. And I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. Full motion video on a video game. On a console. And then I dreamed about it. About having that copy of Mortal Kombat in my hands. I first got it on SNES. Because I was an SNES kid mainly. I then ventured into Genesis and other consoles, but I mainly was an SNES kid. That was the console of that time. I'm sorry about these stupid dogs. They every fucking day won't shut up, and it really annoys me. Their owners just let them yap all day. Anyway, we are into the territory of this. I'm almost done with this deposition. Then we're going to go next to... I think the best place to go next would be the actual testimony of Alex Jones, the questioning that he went through for this trial. This is the deposition, okay? There are more depositions. They had this man in court so much it's insane. It's very disgusting what they did to Alex. So let's go. Those dogs, I swear to Jesus Christ, if she doesn't shut her dogs up.
Mr. Jones, this is an email that you received, correct? Okay. Is that a yes, Mr. Jones?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
This is an email you received.
Yes.
Okay. This email comes from Lynn Posner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Posner is a Sandy Hook parent. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He says to you in an email on January 29th, 2013, over 6 years ago, he says, Alex, I'm very disappointed to see how many people are directing more anger at families that lost their children in Newtown, accusing us of being actors.
And that's disgusting. Anybody that was engaged in the active harassment of Sandy Hook families should have absolutely been sued for what they did. This man did not do that. He never was guilty of any kind of defamation on anyone.
Haven't we had our share of pain and suffering? All these accusations of government involvement, false flag terror, New World Order, etc. I used to enjoy listening to your shows.
Really?
12, 14, 12. Now I feel that your type of show has created these hateful people, and they need to be reeled in.
How, in the name of Jesus, is this Alex's fault or problem? Alex, you are a disgusting human being for not mind controlling your audience into how this man wants to be treated. How dare you, Alex?
Posner. That's what he wrote to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you and Mr. Watson together composed a response, correct?
I don't remember that.
Okay. You don't remember saying that you and Mr. Watson did this together?
Paul Joseph Watson.
I remember talking to Watson about it, and I remember inviting the guy on the show, too. There's some email on it.
In the response email, you and Mr. Watson write back to Mr. Posner and say, Sir, we have not promoted the quote-unquote actors thing. In fact, we have actively distanced ourselves from it.
Okay.
Right?
Direction form.
Direction
Did I read that
form.
wrong, Wade?
No, you said that he and Mr. Watson wrote back.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's do this again because you're unsure whether you had any role in writing this email, right?
I don't think I had a role in writing this. I remember I was talking to somebody else got emails too. I can't remember.
Okay. Mr. Watson writes back, Sir, we have not promoted the quote-unquote actors thing. In fact, we have actively distanced ourselves from it. Over the next 6 years, that's not true, is it? You didn't distance yourself from the actors thing. You actively embraced the actors.
I think that's Paul saying this, and no, I didn't get into the actor stuff. People
No.
brought it up, and I said that's why people.
This is bullshit. Alex never brought this stuff up. He didn't. His audience and others on sites like Zero Hedge were the ones saying these things, and Alex reported on it. He gave you his opinion of Sandy Hook, that it was a tragedy where kids died.
A lot of questions.
You produced a video to me entitled "Crisis Actors Used at Sandy Hook," and it has an exclamation point, not a question mark. With that video, you'll admit to me you endorsed this crisis actors thing, didn't
Oh,
you?
a lot of the videos that we gave you were videos that we were in, but that we did not produce. I didn't see the specifics.
Okay, so if InfoWars produced a video and uploaded it to YouTube, and it was titled "Crisis Actors Used at Sandy Hook," that would contradict what what Mr. Watson is saying.
Yes, I mean I need to see that, but
Okay. And we can agree that by this time, 2013, 6 years ago,
You're prosecuting one man for the sake of a ton of people that thought this shit was weird. They violated Alex Jones' First Amendment speech rights by finding him civilly liable for this. Do you see why they did this? Because it's a precedent center. We can just throw a charge on you that has no backing in reality. You will never find Alex saying, yes, let's push this narrative to hurt the families. Absolutely not, because that's not who he is. He's not a character assassinator. He doesn't do that shit. He tells you the truth about the system. That's who Alex Jones was, and in a lot of ways he still is, but he got wrangled by the right into supporting Trump and all of it. Okay, but I think he's coming out of the slumber now.
InfoWars knew parents were getting harassed by people who were believing what you were saying about Sandy Hook.
I remember Watson, because we were all debating it, saying he thought it happened. So
Make sure I get a clean answer here. You knew, InfoWars had knowledge in 2013 that parents are being harassed.
no, I mean, I don't know that.
Harassed. Like, this is what, see, you're just implying, we're not going to debate at all. It's just Sandy Hook families were being harassed. Look, if you're calling people up because your mind is so messed up that you think that it's okay to call the families up and say your kid didn't die and stuff, that's the most repulsive thing I've ever heard. And every person that's guilty of doing that, they should have their name and number to sue them. Sue them. Not Alex Jones. Alex Jones is not guilty of this, and he has never promoted the idea of calling the families to harass them. Bullshit, Kangaroo Court.
Remember in your last deposition we watched a video of Mr. Watson saying exactly that in 2013? Do you remember that?
Was it 2013?
When we watched a video in March of Mr. Watson saying in 2013 parents are being harassed. Do you remember that?
I remember a video. I don't remember what it was from them.
I think it's fair to say that in terms of trying to count on what happened or what the truth is and relying on your memory's not very good. Do you agree with me with that?
You played a lot of videos and a lot of short and a lot of edited ones, so it was a blur.
Yeah, and you took that video and you ended up playing it on your show, right? And you had a lot to say about it. Right?
Which video?
The video of you giving a deposition in March of this year.
I don't think I heard the whole video.
Okay. There were times when Sandy Hook parents had been successful in getting YouTube to remove videos about their children, correct?
I believe so.
You didn't like that, correct?
I didn't like some of the videos getting taken down that we'd produced, and then things being said about what was in the videos that wasn't accurate.
See?
You couldn't show what was actually in the video.
Yeah, see? Google is an accomplice to helping them fuck Alex Jones over. They go, haha, Alex, you're part of a case now, and we're going to take all your videos down on YouTube. Your channel's gone on YouTube. So the evidence, they destroyed evidence. Google is guilty of obstructing justice by deleting InfoWars on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't like this foundation Mr. Posner was running. You didn't like that,
I
correct?
don't know the specifics of that.
You said on your show you didn't like it, right?
What did I specifically say?
You called them bullies. Didn't you remember that?
I don't remember that specifically.
You said you're going to fight back. You remember that?
Well, I remember, I don't know if it was those guys, but some of them like saying I said nobody died in Parkland, in Florida. And said Jones is saying no one died again. and then getting me a platform, and we were able to show the videos on our own platform, and YouTube put us back up and took the strikes off because I didn't say nobody died at Parkland.
You said the Sandy Hook parents were stirring up a hornet's nest, right? By coming after you.
Do you see this? This is why I wanted to do this so bad, even back in 2019 when I was watching these videos on my headphones and observing it, just observing the deposition. They want to take his speech. Why? It's a precedent. We shut Alex Jones up. We can shut anybody up we want to because Alex is a very big powerhouse in the truth media. Shut him down. They did.
You
I don't remember the specifics of that or what specifically was happening, but
you told the Sandy Hook parents you're not a guy to mess with, didn't you?
I don't remember those specifics.
On your show, you showed maps and addresses used by a parent who complained because in your mind, he was running an anti-free speech foundation, right?
I did not show that footage.
What do you mean you didn't show it? Aren't you you run InfoWars, right?
We showed a U-Haul empty parking lot to debunk a thing that the guy was using a false address, and we said that's normal to use an address when you're a public figure. I remember, like, when you said that, I remember going and trying to find it, and I was like, this is us saying it's a parking lot and a U-Haul. We're not showing this guy's house is.
Yeah, that's where he picks up his mail. It's a U-Haul store. You got a post office box there,
But
right?
you said we were sending people to their houses and stuff. That wasn't true.
Right.
I've certainly never said that.
Well, that's what they were saying. That's what the media was saying.
All I'm asking you.
Never sent anybody to their house.
That's slander. Why didn't Alex's attorney say to Alex, bullshit? That's slander. He never... This is false accusations. It's bogus. He should have sued the people that were making these accusations. Countersue.
Has never done that. Ever said people need to harass them. That's not true.
All I'm asking you.
I'm smelling a rat. I think Alex had bad legal counsel, ineffective counsel. I'm not even a lawyer, and I would be calling, heck, this is total fucking bullshit. He runs a media organization that aggregates headlines and then has a show of punditry, commentary, opinion, and call-in people that he makes a show out of. He was producing a show, and people were talking about Sandy Hook in these ways. This man is guilty of nothing. You're violating his free speech. What the fuck?
All I'm asking you, Mr. Jones, is you showed maps and addresses used by a parent who complained against you. That's what you did. Right?
Yeah, that was not the intent of that.
I'm not asking what your intent was. I'm asking it happened. You showed maps and addresses used by a Sandy Hook parent who complained against you. That happened.
Showed maps and addresses. No, we showed where his foundation was supposedly set. People were saying it was fake. And we said, that's not proof something's fake.
Okay. I want to show you a video of you and a Sandy Hook denier talking about YouTube complaints.
I
Videos
roll.
involving
I roll. I roll. Guilt by fucking association again. I can't, man. My patience for injustice, I think that's what's happening. Because I got like this with Chantal, because she's back in Canada, and it looks like no consequence. I'm thirsting for justice, for righteous justice. And this is bullshit. How is it that his attorney didn't say, how is anything that you have mentioned in 2 hours and 30 minutes of fucking deposition matter at all to anyone? Including the Sandy Hook families. There has been zero defamation by Alex Jones proven in this deposition. Zero.
We're going to offer right now video Exhibit 6E. This video does not have a title known to us because you didn't upload it to YouTube and it doesn't exist online. But its date is February 12th, 2015. We have titled it for the purposes of this deposition, InfoWars video relating to honor copyright claim. Can you play that video? And that is video 6E.
Before we could even investigate it, there were videos with tens of millions of views bringing up the anomalies. There's been a real move to shut those folks down. What do you think of us being censored? What's been happening to you?
I can tell you lots about Lenny. This man is something that you've never seen before. He's got a group of trolls, and if you don't mind, I'll just go ahead and call them out. These people would be Keith.
Well, listen, hold on. I don't want to give these people any attention. I'm going to have to get with lawyers on this and deal with this. But I understand that
This is evidence of Alex being what you call responsible journalist. Wow, isn't that incredible? This goes to his innocence.
I mean, if they're trying to shut us down when we're just investigating it and looking at all sides, it must be horrible for folks out there that vehemently think this is staged. So just specifically, what have you gone through?
I can't even put up a video showing that he has put up a copyright strike against me without him copywriting striking that. They have taken my information and they...
This is how copyright... People, oh my God, they're like, holy shit. Okay, now I know that I can use copyright as a weapon. Weaponized copyright. I am going to call copyright on stuff because why? I don't want the person covering it to put the true light to the subject, to spin it in the way that is accurate. I want the deceiving article.
They gave it to one of his trolls in his network, and they went and they looked up all my information and put up a whole blog post about me and my
Wow.
daughter. Is what this troll network has done.
Absolutely. This is how they work, folks. This man is absolutely going through it. Okay, I can tell. This is how the troll farms work. That's a quote of what he just said. This is how the troll farms work. They go and slander you all over when all you have done is try to point out something that's very bizarre. No, shut your mouth. You're a slave American.
People are vile. And Laney, if you're listening, your day is coming, my friend. It is coming.
Amen.
Wow, I mean, this sounds like a war's going on. I think they made a major mistake involving us.
They did.
Because we were basically showing both sides and getting criticized by both groups for it.
You know why it was a mistake for them to do this? I'll tell you why it's a fucking mistake for them to do this, to bring Alex into it. Because it's so blatantly attack on free speech and journalism. It's a clear attack on free speech in journalism. You can't say, shut your mouth, don't say the truth, because if you say the truth, we will sue you into oblivion. I need to fill my coffee. Do you get this? That's how these scum work. It has nothing about the virtue signaling of the left. It has nothing to do about seeming moral. It has everything to do with controlling you. Mind control. In the great novel by George Orwell called 1984, they have a thing called newspeak. And they invented dumbed-down words to make it hard for people to communicate ideas. We are now in a zeitgeist that's been actively being done to you and me and everybody that has ever interacted on the internet. It's a mass mind control psyop to dumb you down. This is just accurate facts.
Oh, I totally agree. They don't know what they bit off. Go after them, Alex. Crush them.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to leave the First Amendment alone. I mean, it does show that how would they claim it's a Fox News copyright violation? There's no Fox News on there. It's a news article. I mean, how do you do that? It's just, it's amazing.
You're a fucking slave. Give me a second. I'm back. It's just insane, and I'm fucking so frustrated in life.
They have two different email addresses they used. I noticed you said that for this claim they used the honor@gmail. The other one that they used, I won't say it, but I'll tell you off air if you want to know what that one is off air.
Well, I'm not somebody to mess with, and I understand that they can, use children or whatever, and then, say the First Amendment's bad, but I mean,
The reason he said I'm not one to mess with is because he's a bellwether in free speech. He's the only guy that's been willing to put himself out there and talk about the issues that are unspeakable on most networks. That's why.
got to defend the First Amendment, and it's just wild to get into this subject. We got all this stuff happening worldwide, all these moves against the First Amendment going on. It's pretty hardcore. So we're going to have our news director.
Do you see how they did an open bullshit war on a man's First Amendment, and nobody cared? Nobody said that this is bullshit, and this man is not guilty of the things that you are putting forth in this deposition. Nobody did anything. Not even Trump, who Alex Jones got Donald Trump elected because all of the fucking info warriors went, yeah, we're going to support Trump. And that was a huge voting block. People didn't understand how big Alex Jones and his operation and how many people were actual info warriors that listened to him and believed the shit. Because it's proven in government documents, everything Alex has ever said. He's never made one claim that hasn't been documented in papers or government white papers or wherever.
Director in here with our news anchor to talk about this because they're trying to shut us down.
considering how
Absolutely
happy-
accurate.
Still think it was a major mistake for these families to involve in?
Oh,
Opinion.
shit.
Right after this video,
You cocksucker. Sorry, I accidentally yanked my headphones. How we frame this narrative is how it fucking is.
So when you sent Dan Dondi to Newtown to start doing some reporting, correct?
Sent him.
I don't know.
Okay. Because according to you, you didn't know anything about Dan Dondi going to Newtown. He wasn't going there as an InfoWars reporter, right?
He told him not to save
I had to
him.
look at the timelines and all that. I told you that I didn't like the job he was doing. Told him to stop doing it in our name.
Okay.
There you go.
Tell me what's happening. Okay. I would like to show you a video.
This is evidence of Alex knowing how to handle it when bullshit does happen. What, Badandi's saying that he's there in our name? No, you tell him stop doing that. He was responsible. Wow.
That we're offering as Exhibit 6F. This is entitled Retired FBI Agent Investigates Sandy Hook Mega Massive Cover-Up. This was aired on July 7th, 2015.
Okay.
Mr. Jones, this is a long video. So again, I'm going to caution you to pay close attention because this video is over 5 minutes long. We're going to watch a very long clip. All right, can we play this video, Exhibit 6F?
I despise. The questioner is such an arrogant, passive-aggressive piece of shit. We're just going to get more evidence that there's weird shit at Sandy Hook.
We have been warned. We have been warned. We have been threatened. We have been told through official channels, unofficial channels, threats, you name it, stop investigating Sandy Hook. Now, when this first happened a few years ago, I didn't come out of the gate saying it was a false flag. And I got criticized by a lot of our listeners who were smart folks and who went and really investigated that, hey, Alex, you need to look at this again. All I know
Me and Alex reacting.
is that the official story doesn't add up, and that when retired state police officers and school investigation experts and school safety experts and others began to investigate it, they were threatened.
Mm-hmm.
No emergency helicopters were sent. The ambulances...
There was a blackout on Sandy Hook information. A blackout. And they said, we will not tell you the details of what happened there. This is what that piece of shit that's questioning Alex won't tell you. It's true. They blacked out Sandy Hook information.
came an hour and a half later and parked down the road. DHS an hour and a half later with a timestamp put up signs saying sign in here. They had porta potties being delivered within an hour and a half. It looked like a carnival. Looked like a big PR stunt. Came out that Bloomberg, a day before, sent an email out to his gun control groups in all 50 states saying prepare to roll. We're a major operation coming up. That came out in the news. We have the email.
What does the questioner of Alex have to say about this information? There's no refuting it. This stuff was reported. Very serious, crazy, weird shit. No, we're just going to say it's all Alex Jones defamation on families. You have proven nothing.
Emails from city council back and forth and the school talking about it being shut down a year before. We have the school then being demolished and the records being sealed. We have videos that look just incredibly suspicious where people are laughing and everything and they start huffing and puffing and start crying on TV, which is pure acting method. You got a degree, Rob, in theater. I mean, this is something that even lay people notice. So I began to investigate.
Yeah.
They had a weird anti-terrorism unit from the state nearby with men in the woods, which were on video from helicopter. Then they said that didn't exist. And so we'll recap some of the history of this. But now, your uncle, John Doe, Navy SEAL...
No, Alex, fuck you. You can't do that. What, you want to do investigative journalism and fact-checking? Why? There's no way that you are legally able to do that.
Retired FBI agent, works for a successful security company. I had missed this episode of the Nightly News back on June 4th. And then again last week when you did an update. And then I heard you talking about it yesterday. I knew that we'd sent our reporter, Dan Badandi, there for days to cover the city council hearings about it, and the fact that they're sealing everything.
Whatever, man. Bullshit.
Said,
You're not
yes, and
allowed
that's why I'm trying
to
get
report
my
the news.
Tell me more, because he's been in John Gotti hearings and been involved in huge cases. a pretty prominent FBI agent before he retired. And in his words, he said he's seen the most secretive mafia.
We don't care, Mr. Jones. We are the overlords of your reality, and you have violated that tenet of attempting to create true freedom on the planet Earth, and you will shut up, sir. You'll shut up.
Stuff ever, and he's never seen people more close-lipped. He's never seen something where it basically stinks. And we'll use his words, but the headline here is retired FBI agent investigating Sandy Hook. I mean, that was just amazing to me that so much goes on around here that I missed some of what's happening. Next time a former Navy SEAL FBI agent, I don't care if it's your uncle, is investigating something like this, we want to hear about it. I want to try to get him on. I know he's going to get heat probably, and they'll probably try to...
You absolutely, as a slave, do you understand this? You're a slave in this fucking country. And if it's not the overlords telling you what to do, you will get back in line and shut your mouth.
Threatening, but really kudos to him. I mean, you told me that he went and investigated it because other insiders said, you need to go look at this. I guess people currently in the FBI aren't allowed to. But man, the fix is in. So Rob Duke, tell us about your uncle. Tell us about all this. I wish we'd have gotten more than a 2-minute interview with him, with Badandi. Badandi did a great job. I just wish I'd have known about this. I would have gone up there. Halbig tried to get me to go. I just am trying to launch the TV network and the new website and everything else.
So Dan was loosely associated with InfoWars at that point. See, that's how it works. If you go your separate way in this community, the truth community, you still will loosely be, especially if you have their contact info, you're still going to be in contact with them in a light manner. Like, you'll work closely at times for big events and stuff. But then you'll just fall away because Dan has his own thing called Truth Radio Show here on YouTube, actually. Go check out Truth Radio Show. That's Dan Badandi. He's my brother in Christ. He's an amazing man. He wants nothing but justice. I guess he had a falling out with Alex InfoWars. It's fine. These things happen, man. It's just you go separate ways and you do what is important to you. And Alex goes and does what's important to him. And it's all good.
But, I mean, this is just so big. And the more we look at Sandy Hook, I don't want to believe it's a false flag. I don't know if kids really got killed, but you got green screen with Anderson Cooper.
They did. Okay, I will clarify. I don't know why he said that. I think that there's one stumble in terms of, but he didn't say they didn't. He said that I don't know. I don't know is not a positive. No one died and go and attack. That's not what that equates to. He said, I don't know. Feigning ignorance is not defamation. Opinions are not defamation. And as BJ Investigate says, facts are not defamation.
I was watching the video, and the flowers and plants are blowing in some of them, and then they blow again the same way. It's loot, and then his nose disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fake. The whole thing is just, I don't know.
CNN clearly used green screen. Now, did they do that because they wanted to be inside somewhere, so they put a green screen up and cloned a background that has to do with Newtown or Connecticut? Maybe. I mean, that's a very big possibility. I don't know if you'd say that's nefarious. It would be nefarious if they didn't want to be shooting the actual scene and had a scene loop behind them because they're hiding something. That's the obvious something nefarious. That they're looping an image of Sandy Hook in the back because there's some kind of weird chicanery going on at that building now because of the event. Okay? Why do you do that? The button double clicks.
Know what happened. It's kind of like you see a hologram at Disney World in the haunted house. I don't know how they do it, but it's not real.
Right.
You take your kids to see the haunted house and ghosts are flying around. They're not real, folks. It's staged. I mean, a magician grabs a rabbit out of his hat. I know he's got a box under the table that he reaches in and gets the rabbit. I don't know what the trick is here. I got a good suspicion. But when you've got Wolfgang Halbig, who was the top, 2020, CNN, ran the most successful school safety course in the country, got the contracts for Columbine, making millions of dollars a year. He believed it was real. People called him. He went and investigated. No paperwork, no nothing. It's bull. And now an FBI retired agent who retired, with decorations. This is just unprecedented. I can't believe I missed this. Recap what happened. We've got some of the questions from Badandi, but he told you a lot more.
Do you see what this is? It's reporting some retired guy that's very legitimate, an individual that you would say is credentialed, saying, this is bullshit. What do you want? There's no way that this man should have been prosecuted for any of this any of it.
Well, just tell us what he said.
Okay, Mr. Jones. One thing I noticed you said in that video about 2 minutes in is that I knew we sent our reporter, Dan Bedondi, there for days to cover it. That's what you said in this video.
I'll tell you how to try the date straight, yeah.
Okay. So, if you've testified in the past that Bedondi was not working for InfoWars when he went to Sandy Hook, that's not accurate.
No, that is accurate. I told you I don't remember the dates. Some he was, some later he wasn't. And then sometimes he was doing it on his own. I told
Right.
you so.
That was the last time you ever went to Sandy Hook.
He was doing it on his own, you get it. You're a reporter, Mr. Bedondi. No. It's an association, but not an employee. Let's put this on Alex so that we could sue him for $1 billion, right? And not put it on the person that did it. And they're not affiliated with InfoWars officially.
You never went to Sandy Hook.
What was the date of this?
It was just in the summer of 2015.
I don't remember that. I remember saying, tell him that he doesn't report for us.
Yeah, he did that
See?
a year later when he went to a Trump rally and caused some problems in Rhode Island. Had nothing to do with Sandy Hook, did it?
That's not what I remember. But
Well, it's straight.
Do you know why Alex would say, yeah, go Dan and do it? Because Dan, he knows, is local. He's like Jersey, Dan Bedondi. So he's pretty close, Newtown, Connecticut. Go and get some information. You know, it's not that he works for InfoWars, because he doesn't. It would be the same thing if I did some kind of deep dive information thing on this issue, and I sent the video to Do, right? And Do goes, yeah, that's some good stuff that some people might not know about. We're going to feature that on the nightly news. I am not working for InfoWars. You would consider me an independent contractor at that point, that I farmed out my content to InfoWars to show to their audience. And it's a mutually beneficial relationship because I get subs and views from them directing people to me, and then they get views and clicks for just having my content on their channel. So it's mutual benefit. Perfect. Symbiotic relationship in the truth community. You see? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and I'll feed you content, and you feed me more audience members and subs.
Strange to me, because didn't you have your staff go and find the exact invoices and emails to Dan Bedondi?
I told him to try to go find out when it happened. I can refresh. I mean,
Yeah, and didn't they find out that we have a guy, you employ a guy named Darren, right?
Darren McBrain.
Darren McBrain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he sent messages
Another
to
good
the
Christian
house
man.
Dan Bedondi. You asked your staff to go get him, right?
I remember saying, go look into and find out when I really remember correctly. I think all the dates bleed together.
I mean, the truth is, you didn't have any problem with what he was doing at Sandy Hook. He said he did a good job.
Well, I had only seen this report. Like, as you see in the report, I didn't even know he was up there doing that. I'm like, wow, what's this? Because I saw the thing with his brother, his uncle, that was good. The other stuff I saw, I guess, later didn't like. I'm trying to put it together watching all this.
Well, you didn't fire him for it. You kept him around for another year.
Oh my God.
No, he wasn't.
He was not working for InfoWars. Bedondi was what you would call an independent contractor farming out content. You know, Alex would call Bedondi up. Hey Dan, I'm just wondering, have you done any on the foot reporting on the Sandy Hook thing? Well, yeah, Alex, I did. I was thinking about going on there, up there, maybe in a couple days. My girlfriend, it's her birthday, and I don't think I'm going to do it right away, but yeah, I might be doing it soon. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Just keep in contact. Throw me a text, and if you got some kind of reporting that you haven't heard widely, then we'll cover it on the show. Thank you very much, Dan. Thanks, Alex. I'll talk to you. See you later. He doesn't work for Alex. He is going on his own accord as another operation, which I think he had that show back then, Truth Radio Show. He's been doing that for a long time, Dan. And he got some information. Teaming up with Halbig was probably a big problem, and he shouldn't have done. But how is Alex Jones, who is not affiliated other than tertiarily as I'm going to use farmed out content from Dan, how is he responsible for this journalistic decision to hook up with Wolfgang Halbig? That is not Alex's fault.
I don't think he's being paid then. No.
Well, the truth of the matter is, you didn't have a problem with Sandy Hook. You had a problem with him embarrassing you at a Trump rally.
One thing you're right about is I do need to, I guess, spend time in Berlin this morning. It's because it's like, I remember a lot of it. I remember what happened, and I think if I go dig even deeper, I can get specifics.
These things can happen very easily. Okay. For example, when I was doing the radio show on BTR, my co-host Phil was very aggressive producer. So he would call people like Rob Dew quite a bit and other producers, and it got to the point where they kind of had to ban his number because he was very aggressive. That's not his. That's just being a good producer, because most of the time when he did that, it garnered us very good guests, and we got really on the inside of shit. So this happens where you could have an associate that you don't agree with how the methods of what they did, and you could have a disagreement, and it would maybe lead to, okay, I'm not going to use your content anymore. I'm going to just I'm going to stay away from your content. It's nothing personal. It's just you're doing things that I wouldn't tell my people to do. So I'm going to distance myself from you. That's what I see here.
And I remember telling him, try to find out the specifics.
This is your second deposition in a Sandy Hook case. You got more going up in Connecticut.
Okay, there's some valuable information that I've gotten from this passive-aggressive asshole. This is the second deposition, so we're probably going to be going back in time after we do the testimony. After we do Alex's testimony in the actual trial, we're going to go backwards in time before this to the first deposition, because I want to do all of Alex's court shit. And then we're going to probably move into a different direction with the content from there, unless you're enjoying reviewing Alex stuff. If you want me to keep reviewing Alex stuff, throw me a line and tell me that, hey, I like this, and keep doing that. But I want to review the Hassanabi, Ethan Klein, Palestine-Israel debate. I want to review that and put my input into it. I would love to get Steve Danoon on the show of Israeli News Live. That's his YouTube channel, Rabbi Steve Ben Nun. He is from the family of Joshua, 100%. He's a Ben Nun. Go sub Israeli News Live. He's probably very much closely watching this Iran situation, and I have to go catch up with Steve Ben Nun. And Shanny is a friend, has known him probably before I did. She knew Steve Denon. He's a wonderful, incredible human being that has nothing but love in his heart, and I aspire every day to be more like Steve Ben Nun and his wife Jana, who's lovely.
You've had discovery in Connecticut. You've had discovery 3 times in Texas, and you're telling me you think you need to go burrow in and figure out what happened?
Well, no, now that I get these kind of questions, I don't think you were asking me these exact questions last time.
I was very much asking you about Mr. Badandian when he was terminated in the last deposition, wasn't I, Mr. Jones?
I don't remember this video. Did you show me this last
I
time?
did not show you this video. That's not what I asked, is it?
Oh my
I
God.
asked you.
Okay. Well,
I asked
I
you.
went, I guess, try to get invoices or something, I guess you're saying.
Actually, Mr. Jones,
When did you fire Badandi? Just straightforward. Why can't this asshole ask him a straightforward question ever? When did you fire Badandi? Ask it.
your document production in this case shows you did that in May 2018, right after you were sued. The truth of the matter, Mr. Jones, is you knew immediately after being sued that Dan Badandi was going to be a liability for you, didn't you?
So?
No.
No.
When you say at the beginning of this video,
Alex is like, I don't live in fear. Didn't you know Mr. Badandi was going to be a liability? No. He didn't know this would blow up into the massive bullshit that it's blew up into, $1 billion lawsuit, and they take his business?
retired state police officers have been threatened. Who are you talking about?
I forget. Halbig was one of them, and there was another state police guy that went up there.
When you say...
We'll take a quick break. I have to drink so much water.
I think I got to pee.
Yeah, we can take a break, Mr. Jones.
I gotta take a break quick. That's it. I gotta pee. All right, I'm back. I had some shit to attend to. Here we go. Back to this. Here we go.
We have the record at 12:06 p.m.
Damn it!
We are back on the record at 12:15 p.m.
Mr. Jones, before we break, I asked you about your statement about what state police officers were threatened.
God.
So,
Because I was kind of like Dennis Miller on SNL there. You know, I just slid back in. All right, here we go.
I mean, Mr. Halbig and maybe somebody else. Correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you said that school investigation experts were threatened. Who was that?
It wasn't just Halbig. I remember there was some other groups and people asking questions and some other professors other than Fetzer's. I was really going off what Fetzer said.
Okay. And then you said that in addition to those two groups, that some school safety experts had been threatened. Who was that?
They were talking about Halbig.
Right. I mean, all of these are talking about Halbig, right?
No.
Okay. You said in that video ambulances came an hour and a half later. That's not true, right?
I don't have a timeline in front of me.
Are you going to claim in this lawsuit that those ambulances came an hour and a half later?
I'm going to have to check that.
It's all gotcha bullshit. Gotcha bullshit.
Well, I asked you to check it. Did you? I asked you in Discovery to check it. Did you?
I'm going from memory. I believe there's some conflicting reports.
I'm not asking what your memory was. I'm asking if you checked it.
I think I did check it. I don't.
What were the results of you checking it?
I don't have that in front of me.
And whatever it was, you didn't give it to me either, right? In Discovery?
Oh,
Correct?
oh, I thought that was rhetorical.
No, I don't ask rhetorical questions, Mr. Jones. I want testimony.
Oh, I don't have that in front of me. I can't speak accurately to that.
God.
You said in that video that DHS, which I imagine means the Department of Homeland Security, correct? Is that what you meant by DHS?
I don't know the specifics.
Okay, so you don't know what you meant by DHS.
You said DHS?
Yeah, I'm just asking you what those initials meant to you.
Department of Homeland Security, I believe.
Okay, so you said that Department of Homeland Security, an hour and a half later, put up an electronic sign saying check in here, correct? Remember that?
Did I say that?
Yes. You don't remember seeing that on the
I
video?
said put up a sign here.
Put up a sign saying check in here.
I don't. That was on that video?
Yes.
Oh, well.
I guess that means you can't meaningfully testify about it.
I'll
right?
take your word on it. I didn't remember that.
Okay. You remember, again, saying about Mr. Bloomberg sending an email the day before saying get ready to roll?
Yes.
Okay. And we've already talked about that, right?
Earlier.
Yes. Okay. You said there were emails between city council and the school talking about it being shut down a year before. Where did you see those emails?
I'd have to go check from memory.
Okay. And again, during Discovery, you were asked, what is your source on saying that there are emails between the city council and the school? And those your sources haven't been produced, correct?
It would be a privilege and Alex's discretion to give up a source. But no, you must comply because you're in a fucking deposition? No. He could deny it. I don't remember my source exactly, but if I did, I don't feel like telling you.
I mean, do you have the discovery?
Yeah, I do, but I'm kind of curious that you signed it like days ago and you don't know what's in it.
Well, we were reading back over it, and we found, like the helicopter stuff. I said, I know I've seen that footage, so we were able to find it.
Yeah, I know you found this helicopter stuff well after the deadlines. I'm asking you, when you did your discovery, did you go and look for emails between the city council and the school saying it was shut down?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. We saw here you talking about multiple videos of parents crying, which you called pure acting method. What parents are you talking about?
Well, I think you know that, I'm saying that's what people thought it looked like acting method with Mr. Parker.
Right, I know you've talked about Mr. Parker. Who else?
I'd have to go back to the time. That was like 4 years ago. I think you said the videos from.
You stand by that, the idea that there are multiple videos of parents crying that are pure acting method?
I'm saying that's what they appeared like. And my point is that then you'll release this video and say that I did it again for publicity, and that's not a very nice thing to do.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be not nice.
No, I mean, but you'll say Jones has done it again and release the video. I know. But
I won't say that again. Let's make an agreement between you and me right now. I won't say that. How about that? Does that sound
But that means
okay?
that your surrogates will when you release this video.
Yeah, I think people are going to be interested in talking about this video.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm saying it's you that keeps bringing it up and releasing it and doing that. So
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing you were doing the same thing right up until you were sued, right?
when people brought it up, my listeners did not like hearing about Sandy Hook.
All right. In that video, you talked about Mr. Halbig. You said he ran the most successful school security company in the country, and that he was making millions of dollars a year in school security.
That's what they said on the news. They said it was very successful, one of the biggest ones in the country back at the time.
You really thought Wolfgang Halbig was making millions of dollars a year?
Well, that's what he represented.
You've done Skype calls with him on your show, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you've seen the inside of Wolfgang Halbig's house from on those Skypes, right?
I don't really remember the details.
Okay. In other words, if you wanted to try to figure out for yourself, just off of basic knowing about who Mr. Halbig is, what his living conditions is, it's pretty clear he's not a multi-millionaire.
How do you know that? There could be a person that lives very humbly with a little place, and it might be a little messy, but they're a millionaire. What a dumb asshole this guy is, the questioner.
There's no way to answer. I don't remember what his house was. I've been in his house.
Of course I did that. Sorry. God. Just a little longer. That's what she said. Just a little longer. You know? That's what she said. Okay. Sorry.
I'm also curious, why are you so hell-bent on sort of boosting his credentials? It seems to be something you do a lot.
What?
I mean, are you in a position where you still feel like you need to defend Mr. Halbig?
Objection, Paul.
Total bullshit. He's not defending Halbig. He's saying, I was told that he made millions off of education stuff. This is fucking dumb. I hate it.
No, Halbig years ago said I was covering up Sandy Hook, like even 4 or 5 years ago, because I was saying it probably happened on air.
Let me show you a video from this same episode. I'd like to show you what we're going to offer as video exhibit 6G. It is titled Government is Manufacturing Crises, and it was published on July 7th, 2015. Go ahead and play that video for me.
They do. It's on record. Order up cow.
Rob Dew's uncle. He's now investigating Sandy Hook. Former FBI agent, retired. That's got to really freak him out. And I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but he said he's never seen something that looks this fake. It's because it is, folks. I don't know. They really killed kids. I don't know. But we got emails.
They did.
That school was shut down a year before. They tore it.
They got to have a blood sacrifice. Of course they kill kids. It's disgusting. Happened.
Down. They covered it up. No rescue helicopters, no ambulances. Within an hour and a half, they had a sign saying, check in here. It was a media event. If they did kill kids, they knew it was coming, stocked the school with kids, killed them, and then had the media there. That probably didn't even happen. I mean, no wonder we get so many death threats and so much heat and so much other stuff I'm not going to get into behind the scenes when we touch Sandy Hook, because, folks, it's as phony as a $3 bill.
Okay, Mr. Jones. I want to ask you about this statement. If they did kill kids, they knew it was coming, and stocked the school with kids, and had the media there, and that probably didn't even happen. And my question is, you basically have two versions of the Sandy Hook conspiracy. One where kids are killed, and it's a government conspiracy, and one where the kids are fake. But in either case, it's phony. Is that correct?
Like the declassified Operation Northwoods plan, where they would either kill people for real,
Exactly.
including children, or they would stage the airplane and say it didn't attack theaters and shopping malls to blame it on the Russians and the Cubans, or the babies in the incubators.
There's a thing for you to look up. Operation Northwoods. Look it up. Alex Jones doesn't pimp bullshit. He pimps declassified government ops.
That weren't thrown out and had their brains bashed out that launched a major war that killed millions, or the fake chemical attacks they now admit didn't happen in Syria that were blamed. The kids in the fake attack have testified. And so, yeah, that's why people start questioning those types of deals. Or Jussie Smollett, or they said the Covington kids attacked people when they didn't, and the Gulf of Tonkin to get us into the Vietnam War was staged attack on ships. So that's why people question.
Right.
Actually, non-responsive.
Non-responsive. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Non-responsive, my ass. He gave you an incredible answer with information. Go look up the Gulf of Tonkin being a fucking false flag attack on the United States assets. Go look it up. It's on record. Manipulation of the public by false flag operations. Order ob cow. Problem, reaction, solution. Create a problem, give the answer, and it's exactly where you want it to go, which is one world totalitarian government.
Today, which version of that conspiracy do you hold? That the kids were killed or the kids were fake?
It's real.
That was basically almost 5 years ago.
It's real.
I believe that the children died there, and I believe that a lot of the anomalies that were brought up have been disproven. And I believe that before I ever got sued.
They were disproven.
There you go, see? And that's how he always was with this. Do you see the fraud that they did to him? Fraud. Then there should be some kind of recourse of action for Alex to get his money and his company back. I think that's part of the reason I'm doing this, is I hope it blows up enough for people seeing the bullshit of the questioning that maybe he'll get his money back, because he should. They robbed him of his everything so that they could control the mouthpiece. Now the Onion, a joke, owns InfoWars. You get how it works?
A long time before these 2015, 2016, 2017 videos. Would you agree with that?
No, it was a lot of the police reports and final reports and things didn't come out till just a few years ago.
Okay.
I think.
So your answer sort of depends on the fact that you believe the final reports of Sandy Hook didn't come out till recently.
I don't remember all the specifics of the reports. I just remember it was like early 2018 when the reports came out, the big one. I had to pull that up. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, the reason you don't have it in front of you is because there wasn't a final report in 2018. Isn't that correct? Did you disagree?
I don't know if that's correct. So I said I have to look it up.
Treating Jones like the FBI.
Let me show you another little video from a little bit earlier that year. We're going to offer Exhibit 6K.
Shouldn't the FBI have all this straight and give them their answers? Well, you asking Jones. He's a pundit, opinion reporter. Not even, you wouldn't even say reporter, he's a pundit. Opinion.
It's a video entitled Why We Accept Government Lies. This is January 13th, 2015. Can you play that video?
Yeah, when you're trying to, decipher cloak and dagger, dirty tricks, it's pretty hard to do. It's just that when you learn that they were funded by Western funding, then you learn that it was the same Amarillo-Lockheed connection underwear bomber. Then those are big red flags that they were patsy provocateurs. The classic MO has been followed. And then, yeah, it kind of becomes a red herring, to say the whole thing was staged. Because they have staged events before. But then you learn the school had been closed and reopened, and you got video of the kids going in circles in and out of the building, and they don't call the rescue choppers for 2 hours, and then they tear the building down and seal it, and they get caught using blue screens, and a email by Bloomberg comes out in the lawsuit where he's telling his people, get ready in the next 24 hours to capitalize on a shooting. Yeah, so Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And it just shows how bold they are, that they clearly used actors. I mean, they even ended up using photos of kids killed in mass shootings here in a fake mass shooting in Turkey.
I say it doesn't matter. This is my opinion. And this is all for entertainment purposes only. You can see down at the bottom of this, on that scroll bar that I got going, it's everything's entertainment and opinion. I think that this was a black op military operation at its core. But I think it's clear that they did murder some kids. It's about sacrifice. And if there's no blood, then what was it for? People would speculate gun control. No, I just don't buy that. I think this was a sacrifice and there were kids involved. If the school was shut down, it was probably being used for storage or something, and they took the kids out there on a field trip or some shit, and it turned out to be this. Yeah, one hell of a field trip. Right?
So, yeah, or Pakistan. The sky is now the limit. I appreciate your call. Shirley in Louisiana, you're on the air. Welcome.
All right, Mr. Jones. You're not questioning anything here. You're saying they clearly used actors, right?
I haven't seen the full context of that video. I've tried to find the full context. Maybe you have it. Do you have the full context of the video?
Yeah, and you gave it to me.
Well, that's the clips that are online. I'm trying to find the full clip.
Yeah, you gave me that video.
I know that's the one. That's the clip that's online. That's been used on the news.
But you have it.
Well, you asked for all the Sandy Hook videos you could find. A lot of that stuff's online, so we even gave you stuff that was online. So I'm trying to. I mean, I'm not denying that I have thought things are staged, because so many things are staged.
Right. So what I'm saying,
America thinks that Epstein did not kill himself. Are you going to sue all them?
Yeah, hold on, we'll get to that. I promise.
Okay.
I promised you we will. I absolutely promise.
Okay.
But my question before we do that is, you're not questioning anything here. You're saying they clearly use actors. That's all I'm saying. You're not asking a question.
My opinion in that vein is that I could start thinking that it was all staged, because I'm like trying to suss out. That's what I see what I'm saying there.
Look, it's false. What you said there is false. The kids, there are real kids who died.
I believe now that the kids died there, but my opinion is gone back and forth.
And when you screw up and report false facts about the death of my client's son over and over and over again, you're responsible for that, aren't you?
I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible for his son dying, and I'm not responsible for them suing the dead teacher or the school or Remington or anything else. And I legitimately think a lot of events are staged, and a lot of events are staged. That's my First Amendment right.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yes, it is.
And I don't know why you don't want to answer my questions today.
He is answering your fucking question.
You screw up and you report false facts about my client's son's death. You are responsible for that.
This guy is the attorney for the suing party. Bullshit.
I'm not saying your client's name or son's name on that video. I'm saying that I believe a lot of events are staged, and I've gone back and forth on that because so many of them are. Like babies in incubators having their brains bashed out, and an actress telling Congress she's
fake,
and then millions died.
Fake.
Millions I didn't kill. I did not kill those children in Iraq.
My
That's
client's son
right.
died at Sandy Hook, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And you just said on that video, kids didn't die at Sandy Hook, didn't you?
I said that I'm actually talking about it there, that I've gone back and forth, and I'm talking about that vein, and it's my right to say it.
Yep.
And I did not say your client's name. You did.
Right, but my client's kids
That's
died
right.
at Sandy Hook. So when you say no kids died at Sandy Hook, that means Jesse...
Do you know this whole case is dependent on if Alex Jones mentioned the man's name, and he didn't? Do you see this? Clear bullshit that should have been dismissed by the fucking judge.
See, Lewis didn't die at Sandy Hook, doesn't it, Mr. Jones?
Well, that is my opinion at the time that I was saying how my mind felt. I'm even saying in the video, I've gone back and forth.
So when
and there's a move to make it not questioning the received knowledge, whether you're right or wrong, is what the country's fundamentally founded on.
Correct.
Assault on that now.
Correct.
All I'm saying
Correct.
is when you screw up in your reporting and you report false facts, do you stand by that, or you just think you're not responsible for it?
This piece of shit attorney wants there to be no accurate media. Let's fact check and see what really happened. No. We have a narrative that we're pushing. Jones won't push that narrative. He is a threat.
That's me as a talk show host talking to a caller.
Yeah, it is. You're
And
right.
then giving my opinion. And if I said the moon was made out of cheese as an opinion, whether I'm on a radio show or on the street corner, I'm allowed to. And I legitimately looking at all that stuff and gone back and forth on all of this.
Yeah, you said false things, and then you said things that were true, right?
He said all opinion. At the time, based on all the information he had, it was an opinion, not an assertion.
You know, I have had opinions and I've had different views on things.
Okay, but let's just go ahead and use your word opinion, even though we all know that's not an opinion. Your opinion is false.
Objection.
Kids died at Sandy.
Jesus Christ. Based on the information I fucking have, I felt this way at the time. It's an opinion. Was it a false opinion? Yeah. Because kids died. 100%, I'd say. It's not just mostly sure. It's 100%. Because that was a satanic sacrifice.
Sandy Hook, right?
And I didn't kill them.
Do you see me anywhere in this deposition saying you killed children, Mr. Shanny?
Remington didn't
Do
kill
you
them.
think you're
The head
here?
teacher didn't kill them.
You think you're here because you killed children? That's the
No,
accusation?
but it is like I'm Adam Lanza or something. It's all...
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, you're a journalist. Do you feel like you're responsible for the things you report?
If I put out a...
He said he is. Jesus Christ. He has already told you his practices. If I put out a story that was wrong, I'd retract it. But he never does original reporting. Very rare that it's an InfoWars original report. With that stuff, they usually had the evening news that they would put like a almost documentary style pre-made video out. That's a different deal. That they had other people, mostly like John Bound. John Bound would do videos like that. Rob Dew would, but that's that. You know, Dew is one of the major producers. But Alex would do those longer videos that expand on an issue. And it was always accurate. You could go always, if it was some kind of accusation against the government or whatever, you could go and look up the declassified white papers, and it's all true. There's never been a time that Alex Jones pimped some kind of false narrative in terms of the New World Order stuff, except he admits that back in the Y2K scare, his network required him basically to pimp survival foods, saying that Y2K was coming and it's probably going to be really scary. And he knew that most of that was bullshit, but he did it anyway. And he's admitted to that. And he said, but he said it was for his job. His job was telling him do it, you know.
a journalistic report and said this is fact, then that would be that. But when I'm on a show talking about how I feel, I'm allowed to have my feelings, and to say at that point, I even say I've gone all over the map. I'm there talking about my emotions.
Yeah.
This isn't journalism.
Absolutely not. It's, you know,
No. It's
me
opinion.
talking about my feelings.
And you're totally immune for any responsibility for that.
Yeah. He's
No,
not
no,
stating
no
any
responsibility for-
This is complete mind control. Alex, you can't have an opinion. Do you understand that? You can't have a platform and you sit down and give opinion. You can't do that.
This kind of awful, vile
Well,
stuff.
I'm not saying anybody is immune from anything. I mean, I'm here right now with you because people don't like things I've said in the free speech.
Right, in the free speech.
Misrepresenting what I've said about Sandy Hook and using it has been using it the First Amendment in general. And I'm
Yeah.
very, very sorry for that. And I, you know, obviously, you know, have gotten a larger perspective on things.
Let's talk about Epstein for a minute. I don't want to talk about that.
Here we go.
I think maybe,
Epstein.
and I'm going to take a guess here, but I think one of the things that you and I agree on is that large segments of the ruling class of this country, and indeed the world, are psychopaths and criminals.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree with that.
100%.
And in fact, because of that, when these really, really strange happenings with Epstein happened, when Epstein killed himself in his cell, allegedly, he was supposed to be under watch by federal officials, that looks suspicious, to say the least.
Probably faked his death.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
I think it's most likely that Epstein faked his death and he's alive, probably in South America or some shit. Same is true for a lot of celebrities, like, you know, say, like Tupac, John Lennon. I think it's possible they are alive and they fake their deaths to get away from the spotlight and heat. You know? It's possible.
In fact, I think a lot of people in this country think it's most likely true that there was foul play, that Epstein was killed.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that, right?
Yes.
And now Epstein's a massive...
Or he's alive, they
He's been
faked
in
his
the news
death.
a ton, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Partially because of something called the Lolita Express, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we in this country get to talk about public figures, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So, like, let's take George Bush, for example. I think it's fine if you want to get on TV and say George Bush did 9/11. That's something you're allowed to do, right?
Well, I said that they definitely covered it up.
Yeah, right. And like, let's just say for a moment that you were right. George Bush did 9/11. Or
No,
maybe you were wrong.
that's
and
not
George Bush
accurate.
didn't have anything to do with covering up 9/11.
It's not
Either way, it's
accurate.
not illegal for you to say that, right?
I think that all the evidence is that George W. Bush was a deer in the headlights when 9/11 happened. He had no clue that they were going to plow aircraft into the World Trade Center. Condoleezza Rice had a PDB, a presidential daily briefing, that said that bin Laden was determined to attack within the United States. And if there was intelligence that was said that looked like that they were planning something with planes, but it was general. There was not an absolute, this is definitely where we're going with it. Aside from that, the hijackers were federal agents. They were not religious Muslims. They went to strip clubs and drank alcohol and did drugs and banged hookers. They were not religious Muslims. You were lied to about 9/11 in a massive way, and the 9/11 Commission report is a whitewash, just like the Warren Commission report on JFK.
Well, I believe that it's been sussed out and proven that they had prior knowledge and stood down, and they did it. They wrote in PNAC they did it so they could invade the Middle East. I think that's wrong.
Well, let's talk about Epstein for a minute. There's nothing illegal for you saying, I think Epstein probably killed himself. Or let me do that again. There's nothing illegal about you saying, I don't think Epstein killed himself.
No.
I mean, I believe he.
There's also nothing illegal about saying that my opinion is that Sandy Hook is weird, and then insert any fact or reported claim. That's not violating anyone's speech. That's not putting undue terror or horror or anything into anyone. It's an opinion. If you're bothered by the opinion, don't listen to Alex and InfoWars.
There was foul play, probably the evidence points towards. That's why I talk about it. I could be wrong. He come out, he did kill himself.
And if you did, that's okay too, right? Because he's a public figure. We're allowed to talk about him,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
yes, and Sandy Hook was a big public event that was then projected onto American gun owners. So they didn't like being blamed for something they didn't do.
That's
All right,
true.
well, let's talk about, let me give you an example. Let's say that there is a security guard.
Conservatives, people that stand up for the Second Amendment specifically, were being attacked every day because of Sandy Hook, of course. The weaponized left that are against guns and for massive gun seizure and gun control. Every time you have one of these things, those forces go into action. So there's a certain level of activism on the level of InfoWars that says, no, we will not let you take our Second Amendment. Alex famously went on Piers Morgan's show back in the day and said, we are not your slaves. We are not your slaves, and we will not consent to you taking our arms. Okay? That's a very libertarian, very freedom-minded constitutionalist view. You will not infringe on our rights.
At that federal penitentiary, and his name's Bob Smith. If you wanted to get on TV and say, Bob Smith killed Jeff Epstein, and you were wrong, should you be held responsible for that? Private citizen like Bob Smith had no involvement in trying to get on the news?
Yeah, I mean...
Is it okay?
I mean, if there were issues and anomalies, and I questioned whether Bob was involved or not, then no.
No,
Right.
what I'm asking, Mr. Jones, is you just flat out say Bob Smith.
No, that's wrong.
Is that okay if you're wrong?
Yeah,
Bob
no.
Smith, do you have some responsibility to Bob
You have
Smith?
responsibility to Bob Smith. You do.
Not if I did it out of believing it was true.
So as long as you
Okay.
believed it was true, you can say anything you want.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings and do me.
If you have a primary source that it seems that they're legitimate, you can say, Bob Smith, it looks like Bob Smith killed Epstein. But you better have an article, investigative article, that says that there's evidence to that. I would say if you're just off the cuff saying, yep, Bob Smith killed Epstein live on your show, you're going to have a problem. Because you're not having journalistic integrity. If you have the article with the evidence, you say it's proven, and here's the evidence, and you show the evidence while saying Bob Smith did it. That would be correct journalistic integrity, okay? I'm trying to play Peter Parker's boss here at whatever the fucking thing is called, the Metropolitan Globe or whatever. You would print a thing if you have evidence. Is there evidence that this man did it? Okay, then print it. Is there no evidence? We don't print it. That's pretty simple.
Things for the fun of it. It's dangerous to question official orthodoxy, and I think in sometimes in my life I did basically see almost everything as staged, so many things were staged, And I've gotten more sophisticated about that, and I've admitted that.
Yeah,
And I
me
legitimately
too.
looked at these things and saw what was going on and thought it was probably staged and went back and forth the whole time, looking at both sides. I mean, that's from a real place that I legitimately have said, I bet this Covington kid thing's staged. It turned out it was. I bet the Smollett thing, that was the first one. I said, the Smollett staged. It was staged. I mean, my God, almost all of it's staged. And I've learned, though, that some stuff's real, even if it's unbelievable that somebody would go kill all those kids. But that's just unbelievable. But it really happened. And so I would not ever do that. No one I know would do that. So it's hard to believe that. And so people get in denial. That's well known, and that happens.
You know what question you were answering?
You want me to elaborate? I mean, you were asking me a large question about that's a big question, and that's what the whole thing's about, and that's what it comes down to with New York Times versus Sullivan and the whole nine yards. And I've never intentionally gone out and tried to hurt people by questioning big public events.
Exactly.
But we need to question public events. That's what it is to be an American, and if we don't, we're in North Korea.
I asked you, sir.
Yes.
Would you be responsible to Bob Smith?
And I told you that it would be the specifics, that there was reporting and information, and
If you are the original source for the report, and you have said that this is the truth and you don't have evidence, then you're guilty. What's the primary source for saying Bob Smith killed Epstein? They are the culprit that you should go after. Not the guy that took the article of the purported facts and put it on his radio TV show. That's not how you handle this. You go after the head of the New York Times, the head of the Washington Post, the head of the Wall Street Journal. That's who you go for, not this guy.
there were questions about it, and Bob was the only one that could have had access. And then I questioned it, and it turned out Bob was innocent. If I wasn't doing it intentionally to go hurt Bob, no. I mean, Bob was there, he's working there, someone's died, and so around any crime or event, people are going to always look. It's like a clue or a whodunit. There's 5 people at the dinner party, there's 7 people, and the lights go off and somebody has a steak knife at them. Everybody is implicated and looked at.
You know who Richard Jewell is? You ever heard that name?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're familiar about accusations made against him in the 1996 Olympic bombing, correct?
There's a big movie coming out about it. Clint Eastwood's making it.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's making. I saw that.
What was that?
It's unfair what happened to Richard Jewell. You agree with me?
Yes.
He was innocent, right?
I think that's been proven.
And a lot of people in media said he wasn't innocent. Said he committed the bombing, right?
And then because a lot of the evidence looked like that, that's what the FBI thought. But I don't think the media lied until they thought he was guilty on purpose.
You don't think the media was careless in that case?
No, I think they went with the authority of the FBI and others. The way it looked, that a lot of times somebody that finds a bomb before it goes off, generally in the criminology, has a lot of times it staged it. So I think that that's the thing about justice, is that it's not always not perfect. Humans aren't perfect.
So the media has no responsibility to Richard Jewell.
I'm not saying the specifics of it. Quite frankly, I saw the trailer for the movie the other day.
The primary source material report that reported him as the culprit, you might have a case against. It depends on statute of limitations, all that stuff. But I would say the major source that made the fact that he was guilty and that turned out to be false, that should be actionable on his part to get restitution, which would be very big restitution in his case, because he apparently was put away for it and was innocent. It's really bad. 1996 bombing. Olympics or something. Well, I didn't...
I have to refresh my memory to it. But
Sure, okay, but what I'm trying to get to you, Mr. Jones, is do you agree that there's a difference between an internationally recognized famous person and a person who spent millions, if not billions, trying to influence our country, like Jeff Epstein, and a private citizen just minding their own business? There's a difference between those two people, right?
there is a difference.
There is a difference in journalistic ethics and how you have to treat those two people, isn't there?
I think there is.
And
I
at
agree.
the end of the day, with a private person, you would agree with me that InfoWars needs to take appropriate steps to make sure it isn't reporting false things about private people.
Sure.
Most of what we do is punditry and opinion, and when parents and others become public figures and go out with a political mission to restrict gun ownership, then they've stepped into the arena of politics.
Absolutely.
I disagree with you on that, though, right?
I don't-
That's ridiculous you're going out as an activist. You're not a public figure, but you're going out as an activist, and it appears being paid by some organization that's anti-gun to push a pro-anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment message through media. Are you kidding me? That's not political speech? Of course it is, because guns are a huge issue. A lot of conservatives died by that issue. More bullshit from this stupid attorney. I can't believe this. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The most ridiculous dog and pony show bullshit I've ever seen.
Interpretation, of course.
Well, you are involved in a lawsuit with Leonard Posner and Veronique De La Rosa. You familiar with that lawsuit?
I know about it.
Yeah, you know the Texas Court of Appeals came back and told you they're not public figures, correct?
And I know that that's a Democratic court.
I'm sure they'll be delighted to hear that.
I mean, the Supreme Court's reversing the Ninth Circuit, all that stuff. That's just what goes on.
See, Mr. Jones, we got about 10 minutes left. Let me take a quick break and confer with co-counsel. I might be done with questions for you, but I might just have a couple more to finish up.
Filling out the record at 12:40 p.m.
How much longer is it?
10 minutes, Mr. Madam.
Right? Wow.
Back on the record at 12:46 p.m.
Mr. Jones, did you have a question?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I'm willing to clarify something because I don't think you understood what I said earlier, so I probably mumbled through it.
Okay.
To clarify my earlier testimony, you kept asking about sources and where these sources are. When we have articles and things, most of it is links. And so I've given you, to my knowledge, everything we've got. We'll do another search, but 90% of things is links to other sources that are online. And then over time, those links die, and it's very hard to find that stuff. So anything that we haven't given you is outside of my office and not in my office. When you say a source, that would just be newspapers and archives and TV reports that are outside of my office on the internet. Sources for things that I'm thinking about from memory that I need to go out and find. So I must have misunderstood what you meant by sources.
I'm sure. Okay. You'd agree it's not general practice, it's not part of your operating protocols to save corroborating information underlying InfoWars' news broadcast.
I wouldn't
We
think so.
saved some of it, but then over time, it gets, over time, we just, like piles of articles, news folders with information.
Yeah.
It gets thrown away.
Of course.
But most of what we have is articles with links, and then that's where people can go look at what we're talking about. And the links go to outside web.
See, I don't think I would have had this problem if I was running InfoWars, because I would think it would be really cool to have one huge room just filled with filing cabinets and papers with stories, because it's a physical archive of the headline, right? From, say, Washington Post or New York Times or whoever it might be. And you can go back and look in your file cabinets and see the exact article as it appeared at that time. That I would absolutely do that if I was running a big media organization like InfoWars. Every single day from here forward, we're printing off articles and having a physical copy of that article to go back to. Have it in laminated pages like this. Okay, big binders and file cabinets filled with binders of news articles. Okay? And it's protected, preserved for the public's consumption, and you could even digitize it, right? The archive of journalism for the United States from a certain period, to current. That would be incredible asset to all of humanity. Anyway, I digress on this one.
Websites, outside TV stations and networks and things. And so when I talk about, you keep asking about sources of info, where I got something, where I bought something, I need to go back to those original articles that you've been given, but then follow the links through that are on there.
I understand Mr. Barnes, Robert Barnes, is no longer representing you?
No,
Is he still employed by the company?
no,
Okay, so he's not general counsel in any
no.
way.
Shit.
While he was there, did he have any...
Sorry. Somebody want me to get me a pair of really good headphones that have a longer cord? Help me out there. My Venmo is nowhere on this page, is it? Oh my God, I don't have my Venmo badge. Let me get it. If you want to help me out and getting some headphones, you want to do a Venmo deal. Look at that. Transform, fit the screen. Boom. There we go. Okay, now we'll just do this. I should have my Venmo badge right above my head here. That'll work. Yep. A little bit bigger. A little bit. Put it in the middle, centered at the top. Not quite outside. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's done. That's a good thing there. Okay. Now, if you want to help me out and you got something, you want to help me out, and I get a nice pair of headphones with it, I'll give you receipts and everything. Give me like, I don't know, $100 or something in my Venmo, and I'll get a good pair of headphones with long cord, because that's getting annoying. Anyway, here we go.
Any managerial responsibilities?
No,
Okay. Did he have any director positions at the company?
no.
Did he at one point serve as general counsel?
That's the name you call it. He was trying to manage some things.
What does that mean, he's trying to manage some things?
He was trying to get the cases organized.
Okay, so he's practicing law.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. If, let's say after this deposition, I go to the media and I tell them, you're Bill Hicks, you faked your death, and you're a liar. Is that my opinion, or have I defamed you?
Ah!
That's your opinion.
Okay, so people are allowed to do that in your mind.
Sure.
I think they are. But I'm not. I don't sit there and knowingly get things wrong.
Right.
Okay, no, what I'm asking you, Mr. Jones, if I If I accuse you of being an
This goes to Alex's innocence again. It's insane to me. This is incredible to me. Again, this goes to his innocence, not his guilt.
imposter, if I say that you're a liar and that you're not really who you say you are, have I damaged you in some way?
I haven't sued anybody that calls me Bill Hicks.
Right.
So the media can report that.
See, I remember they made a big thing of this once on Bill Hicks' birthday. And apparently Bill Hicks' family knows Alex, and they called him and said, this is really disrespectful that people are saying this shit that you're Bill. Could you say something about it that you're not? And he did it. Like, this is so dumb.
That's totally fine in your mind.
And that's the... No citizens have a right, and pundits have a right. People have the right to opinion. I mean...
What if I said that this court reporter is Bill Hicks, and that he's lying, he faked his death?
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying it, Mr. Jones. I'm saying it. Have I done anything wrong? If I get on TV and say that?
That's up to him, his view.
No, I'm asking you.
I'm not a court reporter.
I'm not asking you if you're a court reporter. I'm asking you, have I done anything wrong?
That's a moral judgment, and I'm not speaking for the court reporter.
I'm asking you to make a moral judgment for yourself.
The moral judgment is it's a baseless statement. It's a baseless, stupid statement that has no bearing in fact, and you know it. Now the question is, do the people that call Alex Bill Hicks have any proof of it? No, they base it on all bullshit. They say, oh, look at his face next to Bill, and there's very similar features, just Alex had some plastic surgery. It's bullshit. They don't have any proof of it, none, because it's false.
Is it wrong?
I've not said he's somebody else.
I did right now. I just said that. Is it wrong?
If you believe that, then you might be, just have a mental problem or something. If you did it to hurt him, then that would be different.
So it doesn't matter how incompetent I am when I make that accusation. As long as I believe it, no matter how wrong I am, how bad I am at my job.
No, when you have a giant...
Do you have evidence of it? Do you have any reason you're going and saying that this is true? No, it's a bullshit hypothetical. You pulled it out of your ass.
Train of media staged events. ABC News saying here's footage of a Turkish town being blown up of Kurds, and they know it's fake. The public gets to the point where you can't believe anything basically anymore. That's totally natural and normal. We've all reached that point. And lawsuits like this by the establishment don't stop the public.
Yes.
From
tell him, Alex.
System.
Let me get this.
Alex, tell him lawsuits from the mainstream like this doesn't help it. That's correct, Alex.
Straight. So it would be natural and normal for me to accuse this court reporter of being Bill Hicks and having fake.
No, but it would be normal when you see ABC News saying here's Trump allowing a city to be blown up to go, that's probably not true, this probably isn't. And I know you guys probably don't know about that, but it's, you didn't hear about ABC News, the fake city being blown up?
When you say we're the establishment, what do you mean by that?
Just people that buy the party line, just believe whatever they're told.
That's what we are. Me and Mr. Ogden?
I mean, it's okay to have my opinion, right?
Sure.
Okay.
That's your opinion, though.
I mean,
This is just a witch hunt by the establishment.
oh, the
It is.
establishment isn't all behind?
I think there is absolutely no question in my mind that the Democratic Party, in their little way of funding certain things, helped this Sandy Hook case go forward. What's the money? Where's the money? Cade Bono. Who benefits? Cade Bono. You got to ask yourself that. Did the Sandy Hook families, were they utilized to further anti-gun propaganda in this country? Yes. It still do it as far as there's been ads on YouTube that I've seen. And I've I heard on the radio and shit. I was defamed. The attacks on the Sandy Hook families. They were used to promote anti-gun legislation and propaganda in the media. Yes.
And is it backing you?
Oh, I know the establishment doesn't like you, Mr. Jones. I understand that very
Okay.
well. I understand that very well. I'm asking you, do you believe this lawsuit, us here, that we're involved in some sort of conspiracy against you? Or do you
Yes.
think I just found a good case?
Well, two people agreeing on something is a conspiracy.
Right.
So I don't know. Are you saying that?
Sure, am I in a conspiracy with the establishment?
You are. You are. If you know it or not, or just took the case for money, it doesn't matter. You're being utilized to further an agenda where an independent media source that's not involved with the big companies comes and gets really popular, and people are listening, and goes, this is bullshit. Oh, wow, look at that. That's going to be used for the New World Order purposes. He has absolute freedom of speech to do that under the First Amendment.
You think?
Well, I think you like publicity and stuff like that, and you're casting yourself as the good guy or whatever. And that's fine. That's what you're doing.
When you say I like publicity, You see me on TV?
Yeah, with Megan Kelly Hall.
Yeah, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. You ever see me on TV again?
I've seen you talking to the press, probably on television.
I don't think I've been on television, Mr. Jones, but maybe that's not important.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. I had asked you earlier in this deposition. It seemed like you didn't feel any shame about the things you were saying. But I want to ask you, now looking back on this, are you sorry?
You know, I did all this from a good place in my heart, and I'm really sad the establishment has lied so much and done so much that the public doesn't believe what they're told anymore. There's been a real loss of confidence in the system.
Truth.
Everything I've done has been from a place of really trying to get people to think and trying to find out the truth. And I've certainly been wrong about things, and but it came from a place of really trying to do my best job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm overall proud of getting the public to be skeptical,
You should be, Alex.
get people to think for themselves, and
Let me get this straight. These videos we just watched today, you're proud of those videos?
I'm proud of the compendium of my work, not
Right.
small clips taken out of context.
Exactly.
And I'm a good person, and
Amen.
and I pioneered exposing Epstein 13 years ago. Said they fly on aircraft for the Clintons and kidnap children, and it's been proven right. Everybody comes up, shakes my hand, apologizes in Austin. Now the liberals do. They go, "We're sorry," and we were wrong about you and a bunch of other stuff.
So in some ways, you're a victim.
Well, let's just say time's running out for the establishment. Epstein didn't kill himself.
All right, Mr. Jones, thank you for your time today. Until next time.
Is that funny? Is that funny?
That's like 12:54
Yeah.
p.m. We're off the record.
We're off the record. Did that guy think that was funny? All right. Yeah. We're done. I can't even believe the amount of bullshit. But I want to thank you for being with me. God bless everybody. We'll probably be going on. We'll look for Authentically Shanny channel. If you see this first, I'm not sure where we're going to be in terms of time for this to be uploaded. But I'll tell you this, that if you don't see the massive steaming pile of bullshit that was, this is part, 8? 7 or 8 parts, because it was a 3-hour some minute deposition. Woo! Wow! Massive amounts of bullshit. The judge in this case should have dismissed this without prejudice, meaning nobody could bring this case again, because it's anti-First Amendment. Bullshit. I will be back with you, and next video is either going to be direct actual testimony of Alex Jones in this case, or we might be going to Ethan Klein. I'm not sure. And Hasanabi. We will see. Peace and Maranatha. God bless everybody. I love you all.